Okay, so when you're designing garments and making patterns, especially for intimate apparel, one of the biggest challenges is not knowing how the garment will fit until you actually sew up the product, try it on, and evaluate what's happening. And once you get an idea of what's actually happening on the physical body and you want to make changes to it, you have to go back to the pattern, kind of take a guess at what changes need to happen. And if you're not using a 3D software, then you don't know what the outcome of those changes will be until you make another sample and then try it on again and then make another evaluation of the fit. And if you want to know a little bit more about this process, go check out this other video that I made where I draft this underwire pattern in Clo and then make a physical sample, try it on, bring those changes back into Clo, and then I end up with a final result. And in that video, it took me 3 samples to get to a garment that I was really happy with. So if you found your way to my channel, you probably know that I'm really obsessed with the idea of being able to predict this fit with a 3D sampling program before actually having to go through the process of making unnecessary samples. So you know I love using Clo 3D for this. But the one disadvantage of Clo 3D is that it doesn't actually give me a prediction of how the compression of the garment will work on my body, especially with intimate apparel. So it doesn't have soft body and it doesn't have gravity. So it's not predicting how my body, what the compression factor will be of the pattern and fabric that I'm using. And it doesn't have a prediction of the lift that the garment will give me. Specifically as a full busted person, I can't get that information out of Clo. Last year, Clo did release a soft body function in the program, but it doesn't seem to work with the avatars that I'm using. It works on their, it kind of works on their standard avatars, but it doesn't give me enough information to feel confident with what I'm getting out of the program to actually make fit evaluations with their soft body feature. So this is where Vital Mechanics comes in. Really cool program developed by Professor Dinesh Pai at the University of British Columbia. So I was super excited to have the privilege of being able to test out this software. They have their own avatars that you can use and put your garment on their avatars and predict how the fit will be on those. But they also are able to create custom fit avatars, which again, I was super lucky to have the opportunity where they created for me a custom avatar and I'm able to put my garments on that avatar to predict the fit of the garments that I'm creating. So this software is pretty new to me, but in this video, I'll be giving a first impressions experience of how I use the software and how I plan to use it in the future. So in this video, I'm going to take a garment that I've already sewn up and I know what the results of that garment will be. And I made a video about this. So I'll be using the underwire pattern that I made for this video, along with a matching underwear that I sewed up with it. So I'm cheating a little bit in this video because I'm able to take a final garment and see what the predicted results will be afterwards. But in future videos, I definitely want to test I really want to run this software through its paces, testing the fit of the garment, the fit, compression, and lift that the garment predicts before actually sewing up the garment, and we can see the results that way. But for now, this is just a quick run through of how the program works, and what I've seen so far is really cool. Okay, so now let's get into how the software actually works with a Clo 3D workflow. Okay, so this is what the garment looks like in Clo 3D as I made it on this Clo 3D avatar. Here you can see I have the pattern, not very organized for you, but you get the idea. This pattern is drafted based on a underwire that fits me. You can look at all those details in another video. This is the actual pattern with fabrics that are the same as what I used for sewing applied. So like I said before, the problem with this is that I can't turn on soft body. So if I select the avatar and I try to turn on soft body and then I try to simulate, it tries to do it, but it gets this error message, which I haven't found a way around. So I just do without the soft body simulation and I get the information that I can get from the avatar as it is. So this is a hard body avatar. I can get a general idea of how this garment will fit, but but that's as far as I can get with the program. Okay, so to get this garment into Vital Mechanics, first I have to simulate it on a Vital Mechanics avatar in Clo 3D. So this avatar was made for my custom body size and shape, and the volume of the breast should be the volume of my breast. However, they don't have any shaping to them, and they're kind of just up and off of the body so that we have access to the inframemory fold so that we can actually put the garment in the appropriate place. So once you have the garment simulated on the Vital Mechanics avatar in Clo, you export it as a USD and you import that into the Vital Mechanics software. So then you go over to Vital Mechanics and then you import the USD file from Clo and you run soft body simulation. And when you get the results, it ends up looking like this. So this is really nice because it's run off an online cloud-based server. You don't have to worry about your computer specs being able to run this program. It's all done through the cloud. So you can see that the soft body is displaced based on the prediction of the program. So here is the original. I'll turn it from the side. You can see it better. And here's the predicted fit. So what's really cool about this is we have some features which gives us more information about what's happening with this garment. There's body attributes and there's garment attributes. So to look at the body attributes, I'm going to actually just turn off the garment and then we'll look at compression. So you can see how much compression is actually happening based on what the garment is doing. So we're getting a lot of compression underneath and some compression on the upper part of the breast. We can actually look at lift as well. So this is showing us how many centimeters the breast tissue is being displaced because of the garment. Vergence, I think I had to look this up, but it's like how far east and west your breast tissue has moved. And we can also look at pressure. So how much pressure is being applied to the body based on the garment. And then we can also look at garment attributes. So I will turn the garment back on and I'm going to turn body attributes off. And here we can look at how much ease the garment has. So this should all have a little bit of negative ease, and we have a little bit of positive ease down here where there's some space in the bum. And we can also look at the stretch. So if I select any part of this garment, I can see how much the fabric is actually stretching. And this little probe tool is really cool as well, because if I turn the garment back off and I select compression here, I can probe where the compression is and it will give me information about how much compression is happening at that part of the body. There's also a place here that we can leave comments. So if it's just me working by myself, I can leave comments to remember things that I might want to take note of. But if I'm working with the team, this is the place where we can leave comments to communicate with each other. There's also a measuring tape here. So there's these predetermined measurements that we already have. You can also add your own measurements in here with the tape tool. So this predicted simulation shows that there's no problems with this bra. I'm getting a good amount of lift, compression, and a nice shape from the bra. And this holds true with the final garment as well. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is that in the software, I am able to apply a underwire, which the team has told me has the properties of sort of your standard ready to wear underwire. So if I turn off the body here and we look on the inside, you can see that I have a wire applied. So in Clo, I have this wire applied and simulated, and then when I bring it into Vital Mechanics, I apply the physical material, and I actually did this with all the materials for the bra. This should help the software to predict a more accurate shaping as to what is happening on the body. So as a first impressions video, I think the potential of this software is so amazing. 10 times out of 10, I would rather run my garment through a virtual simulation to predict the fit of what will actually happen before actually having to sew up the garment and try it on to be able to evaluate the garment in that way, because mostly it saves me so much time. It takes a lot of time and effort to physically sew and put a garment together. And if I could do this virtually, 10 times out of 10, I would do it virtually. So as I've said before, this is a garment that I have actually made up and made a video about. I know this pattern and these materials fit me very comfortably. And the prediction of this program shows that there's nowhere on the garment that's ill-fitting, based on the prediction. For a first impressions video, I took a garment that already fits well. The prediction shows that it's going to fit well, and then physically in real life, it actually does. But I think the real value of this software will be in looking at where it shows an ill-fitting garment or where something is going wrong with the pattern or the material. So huge shout out to the Vital Mechanics team for helping me out and letting me try out your software and building me an avatar and letting me get in there and play around and just letting me indulge. Clarissa specifically and Yi, you guys have been amazing. Thank you so much for your help. Since I started learning 3D software 3 years ago, I've only seen continuous improvements and advancements, particularly with its ability to inform a digital to physical workflow. I'm super excited to see where this continues to go, and I feel super privileged to be just a small part of it. Thanks for being here. I hope this is valuable, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.